The Grey Wardens are one of the most legendary orders in Thedas, standing as the world's last hope against the horrifying threat of the Darkspawn. While other armies may fight in wars of politics, conquest, or defense, the Wardens exist solely to battle a threat that could end all life in Thedas. They are warriors, scholars, and tacticians, bound by ancient traditions and cursed by their own sacrifices. Their history is woven with the fate of Thedas itself, and without them, the world would have long since fallen to corruption and ruin. The story of the Grey Wardens begins with the First Blight, a cataclysmic event that reshaped history. In -395 Ancient, the world first faced the Darkspawn, twisted creatures created by the corruption of the old gods. Legends say that these deities, once worshipped in Tevinter, were tainted by the Darkspawn when Tevinter mages sought to usurp the Golden City of the Maker. Whether this myth is truth or Tevinter propaganda, the result was undeniable. The first Archdemon, Dumat, rose and led an endless horde of Darkspawn to the surface. For nearly 2 centuries, the First Blight raged across Thedas, devastating entire nations. The Darkspawn swept through the deep roads first, nearly destroying dwarven civilization. They then turned their sights on the surface, laying waste to the lands of men and elves alike. The Tevinter Imperium, the greatest human empire at the time, was powerless against the relentless advance of the Darkspawn. Armies were broken, cities burned, and hope dwindled. It was in this darkest hour that the Grey Wardens were born. In -305, Ancient, warriors and mages from various backgrounds gathered at Weishaupt Fortress in the Anderfels. There, they took a solemn oath to dedicate themselves entirely to the destruction of the Blight. This was now their sacred duty that would last beyond lifetimes. Using what little knowledge they had, they developed a ritual that would change their fate forever: the joining. The Wardens quickly proved to be the only force capable of withstanding the Darkspawn, and their efforts ultimately led to the defeat of Dumat at the Battle of the Silent Plains in 203 Ancient. This victory marked the end of the First Blight, and established the Wardens as the world's first and only true defenders against the Darkspawn threat. The Grey Wardens have played a central role in every Blight, proving time and again that they are Thedas' best defense against the Darkspawn. Each Blight has threatened to bring the world to ruin, and without the Wardens, Thedas would have succumbed to darkness long ago. The First Blight, -395 to -203 Ancient. The longest and most devastating of all Blights, the First Blight lasted nearly 200 years. During this time, the Darkspawn overran much of Thedas, pushing the world to the brink of destruction. Tevinter, the dominant human empire of the time, was nearly brought to its knees, and the dwarves lost many of their thags, once proud cities beneath the earth. The Grey Wardens, newly founded, led a desperate coalition to confront the Darkspawn, and, at great cost, finally defeated Dumat at the Battle of the Silent Plains. The Second Blight, 15 to 195 Divine. The Second Blight saw the rise of the Archdemon Zazakel, and the destruction it caused spread across the Free Marches and Anderfels. Unlike the first, this Blight was ended much faster, lasting 90 years, but the devastation was still immense. The Grey Wardens, supported heavily by the Orlesian Empire, ultimately succeeded in slaying Zazakel at the Battle of Starkhaven. However, the Anderfels suffered such heavy losses that it never fully recovered, becoming a barren wasteland that remains heavily reliant on the Wardens to this day. The Third Blight, 310 to 325 Towers. Primarily focused on the Tevinter Imperium, the Third Blight tested the strength of the once mighty empire. The Darkspawn poured forth from the Silent Plains, ravaging the land. Though weakened, Tevinter's military held strong alongside the Grey Wardens. The war culminated in the Battle of Hunter Fell, where the Archdemon Thoth was finally brought down. Tevinter, however, remained in decline, never regaining its former power. The Fourth Blight, 512. to 524 Exalted. This Blight is famous for the heroic efforts of Garahel, an elven Grey Warden who managed to unite many factions in Thedas against the Darkspawn. Under his leadership, the Grey Wardens and their allies fought back against the Archdemon Andoril. The Battle of Aisley proved decisive, though Garahel himself perished while delivering the final blow. His sacrifice ensured Andoril's defeat and cemented his place in history as one of the greatest Grey Wardens to have ever lived. The Fifth Blight, 930 to 931 Dragon. Unlike previous Blights, the Fifth Blight was relatively short, lasting only a single year, but it had a devastating impact on Ferelden. Political tensions and the betrayal of Tairn Logain Mac Tyr left the Grey Wardens weakened, and the Ferelden king was slain in the early stages of the war. Despite these challenges, the Grey Wardens, with the help of the hero of Ferelden, managed to slay Orthamiel, the archdemon responsible for the Fifth Blight. This victory prevented further catastrophe, but the events left Ferelden's Warden branch in a precarious state. The Order of Grey Wardens is commanded by the First Warden in Weishaupt, and consists of a system of semi-autonomous national branches led by a local commander. Though there is a hierarchy, in practice this is frequently defined by seniority, decided by time of joining in the order. In 931 Dragon, the strength of the Grey Wardens is estimated by Reardon to number over 1,000 in the Anderfells, and anywhere from several hundred to only a few dozen per nation across the other realms of Thedas, Ferelden being the most understaffed amongst them, with the true headcount only being known to the Wardens in Weishaupt. The official hierarchy of the Grey Wardens, in descending order, is First Warden, permanently situated at Weishaupt Fortress. The First Warden is mainly a political figure since the Griffin extinction, and most military command falls to the Warden Commanders. High Constable, second in command to the First Warden, and formerly the aerial commander during the Warden's use of Griffins. Recently, the High Constable has become the public face of the Order, acting as the ambassador to the High King and leading local recruitment. Chamberlain of the Grey, the senior archivist at Weishaupt, and to whom Warden Commanders send yearly reports. The Chamberlain technically outranks the Warden Commanders. Commander of the Grey, also known as Warden Commander, the leader of the Grey Wardens in a given country, and under normal circumstances under little direction by the Order. The dwindling communications between Weishaupt and the branches leave most Warden Commanders to run their respective branches as they see fit. They can be summoned to Weishaupt by the First Warden at any time. Field Commander, a temporary rank used only in times of blight. A Field Commander has the same rank and responsibilities of a Warden Commander in a given area. Constable of the Grey, a Warden Commander's second in command, the Constable, colloquially called Warden Constable, acts as the Field Commander and steps in when the Warden Commander is away. Senior Warden, or Warden Lieutenant in Orlais, the formal title given to veteran wardens who deserve special privilege. When a Constable of the Grey is in command, they usually take a Senior Warden to act as their second in command. Senior Wardens may command a small group of Wardens or undertake special missions. Archivist, the archivist of a given national Grey Warden branch. Warden Ensign, generally just called a Warden. These are the rank and file members of the Order who have survived the joining ritual. They are also called sometimes Junior Warden as well. Warden Acolyte, the rank given to the rank and file Warden Mages. Warden Recruit, an individual selected to join the Wardens, but who has not yet undertaken the joining ritual. They are given a formal rank just for committing themselves to the Wardens, regardless of whether or not they survive the joining. Failed recruits' names are kept in the archives of Weishaupt in honour of their sacrifice. The Grey Wardens are open to men and women from every race, nation, and background, even criminals. They also accept volunteers, and elves in particular tend to be eager to submit themselves for the Grey Wardens, as they recruit regardless of social standing, and serving is considered by many an honour. One mage in every circle of magi is traditionally recruited, usually joining the order after their harrowings. The young mage recruit serves as a warden their entire life from then on. Similar to serving a ruler, yet greatly removed from the degradation they may normally face in society, mage wardens are given great respect and importance in the order. Their facilitation of the joining ritual is essential. Should they need to, the Grey Wardens possess the right of conscription, an authority that dates back to the end of the First Blight, and was given to them to ensure they will always have enough members. By using this right, a warden may demand that, instantly and irrevocably, any individual from king to criminal be drafted into their ranks, and the conscript cannot refuse being recruited once the right is invoked. This is especially true in times of blight. However, in contemporary times, the right of conscription is used sparingly for fear of political reprisal, due to the low standing the order has in some countries, especially in Ferelden. The Grey Wardens prefer to not invoke the right unless there is no other option, and usually is invoked only to quell protest from a recruit's lords or commanders. The joining is the initiation ritual that transforms recruits into full Grey Wardens. It involves consuming a specially prepared mixture containing darkspawn blood, lyrium, and other secret ingredients known only to the Wardens. This ritual is what gives the Wardens their unique abilities, the ability to sense darkspawn, resist the taint, and survive encounters that would kill ordinary soldiers. However, the joining is extremely dangerous. Many do not survive the process, as their bodies reject the corruption. Those who do survive are forever changed, marked by the taint within them. While this gives them the strength needed to battle the blight, it also shortens their lifespans, as the corruption within them eventually takes its toll. Every Grey Warden is doomed to succumb to the taint. When the corruption begins to take hold, they hear the call, a mental pull toward the deep roads, where they will make their final stand against the darkspawn. This is called the calling. Wardens do not resist this fate. When their time comes, they venture into the darkness and are never seen again. Their final battle is a personal one, ensuring that they die as warriors rather than succumbing to corruption. It is said that some wardens choose to fight alone, while others form small groups to ensure they go out in a blaze of glory. There are, however, rumours that some wardens have tried to resist the calling, seeking magical or alchemical solutions to delay their fate. Some speculate that the first warden at Weishaupt knows more than they let on about alternative means of avoiding the calling, but such theories remain unproven. Being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to one's old life and dedicating their lives to destroying the Darkspawn. Grey Wardens go where they are needed most, fight Darkspawn wherever they appear, and do whatever it takes to stop them. They act as a frontline presence during a blight, and investigate Darkspawn activities outside of blights. Even if a Grey Warden were to abandon their duty, the Grey Wardens will either drag them back, or their calling and connection to the Darkspawn will lead the Darkspawn to eventually find them. Due to the Grey Warden's cause being so crucial to Thedas' survival, various groups and nations signed ancient treaties promising to support the Grey Wardens in times of blight. This support can come in the form of military aid, donations of gold, supplies, lending of armed forces, and equipment. Although those bound to the treaty are obliged to fulfill their promises, Grey Wardens believe in times of blight, the treaties entitle them to take what is needed when needed. Outside of the blight, the treaties are as binding as a clever tongue can make them. Still, if the danger of Darkspawn and the image of Grey Wardens as necessary heroes are still fresh in the minds of the people, Grey Wardens may be able to use the treaties in order to leverage the goodwill owed them if it can be justified as the Wardens using their privileges to protect Thedas from calamity. So far, it is known that the Grey Wardens have treaties with the dwarves of Orzammar, the Dalish, and the Circle of Magi. Although the Grey Wardens may have treaties with other factions that are still undisclosed to the public. Generally, Grey Wardens are supposed to be politically neutral, and thus they strive to preclude their involvement in any political struggles. Despite their claim that their cause is apolitical, they occasionally break these guidelines, sometimes justifying it as a necessity of survival or for personal reasons. Thanks for watching, and if you want to learn more, there's plenty to find on the channel. Drop a comment on what you want to see next, and be in with a chance to have your video featured. Thanks again, and see you next time.